Morning, folks. This morning I thought I'd do a toolbox tour. I've had this toolbox for about a year now. It's the US General 3 series. This is a 72-inch cabinet with the 15-inch side cabinet on it. Had it for about a year. And I kind of upgraded to this one. I had an old Matco box with a Waterloo top box. And just over the years, just kind of working on my own stuff, I've collected so many tools. Nothing fit in that poor little toolbox anymore. So I kind of upgraded to this General 3. I thought about getting an Icon, but it just didn't make sense for the money because I don't do professional mechanicking. I just kind of work on my own stuff. And all the reviews that I've seen on these toolboxes, everybody seems to like them. They may not be the highest quality of toolbox, but they're really not bad. They're actually a really well-built toolbox. There's nothing wrong with them. They're pretty sturdy. I've been really happy with it. I've had no issues with it, but everybody seems to enjoy these toolbox tours, so I figured I'd kind of throw one out there that how I'm set up and kind of go from there. Little backstory, back in 1987 when I was a senior in high school, I went to auto mechanic shop. It was kind of a program that the high school put on. You could go to auto mechanics and you had the choice of either renting some tools from the Votech that we went to, or you could buy your own. So I ended up buying my own. I bought a set of kind of your most basic set of Matco tools. Started there with just a 26-inch roller cabinet. And over the years, I've just kind of added tools. If I needed something, I just went and bought it. I've got all kinds of tools. I've got Matco, I've got Craftsman, Icon, Gear Wrench, Pittsburgh. I mean, just all kinds of different tools. I just never took the time to, I wasn't going to chase down the Matco guy for something I needed, because if I needed to fix something and I didn't have that tool, I needed it now. So, you know, a lot of guys know how that works. But everything that I have works for me. Like I said, I'm not a professional mechanic. I just fix my own stuff, kind of go from there. So let's start with the top box here. Let me kind of, trying to do this with my phone, so it's a lot of fun. So the sockets I got, top drawer of the sockets, these are all my Matco sockets that I ended up with over here. So in 87, you know, most of the stuff I had back then was standard or SAE. Manufacturers were, you know, they've been starting to switch over to all metric, but they haven't quite gotten there yet. So, you know, learning how to work on cars in the mid-'80s was a lot of fun, because you work on one thing, it was standard, and then you start working on something else and it was metric, and God, it was a pain in the ass, and it really sucked. But most of everything I started with was all SAE, because that's still kind of what everything had. And then, you know, all the older vehicles still was all standard size. So I really didn't start off with a whole bunch of metric stuff. I've had to pick that up over the years, and then, you know, once everything went metric. So these are all my metric sockets. Most of these are all Icon. The original set is this row right here. These are all the metric sockets that I started with back in 1987. These little Matco 3/8 inch metric, and you know, that's all I had. And over the years, I've had to pick up some other stuff. And then even more recently, I think I've just got these Icon deep wells here not too long ago, because I had a couple things I needed to work on. I needed some deep sockets. So anyway, these are the metric side. I've got some various impacts that I've picked up. I've got a Quinn torque wrench. You know, if I did this professionally, I would definitely spend the money on a better torque wrench, like a Snap-on or a Mac or a Matco, Cornwell, whatever. Definitely something you don't want to skimp out if you do a lot of mechanic work every day. But for me, it'll work. I got various sizes of extensions that I have, and then I've got all my ratchets here. These three here are my original Matco ratchets. And this is the one I use most of the time. This is actually from Napa. I have no idea who makes it, but I bought it from Napa, and it's a lot longer. I love this ratchet. This thing is awesome. I use the hell out of it. And then I've got some just various other sockets, some swivels, impacts, and then some other stuff that I've, like I said, picked up over the years. So, you know, so that's kind of the top drawer with all my sockets in there. This drawer is my metric wrenches. When I kind of set this box up, I was kind of wondering, you know, how to do it. And since everything's now metric, this is probably the first drawer I'm going to hop into anyway. So I put all my metric wrenches in this drawer just because that's probably the first one I'm going to be in the most. Like I said, I've got all kinds of different brands here. These are Huskies, these little minis. My Matco wrenches, these are the ones that I ended up starting off with. I don't know if you can focus in there on there. So these are the ones I started with when I was in high school. These here, and then I've had to add everything else. A lot of these are all Craftsman. Years ago, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, when Sears were still around, I had they had a big tool sale, and I think I bought this like 250-piece tool set. It was on sale for like $180 or something like that, and I thought, man, you know, hey, why not? So I've bought that and added it to this list, and they've been really good tools. I've used the heck out of them. And then with these wrenches here, when Sears were going out of business, they were selling everything for dirt cheap. And so I picked up a bunch of these style wrenches. I think they were like $2 a piece, $3 a piece, or whatever. Just a huge closing the store sale. So I picked a bunch of those up. Haven't used them, but they're pretty cool wrenches. And then some flare nut wrenches. I don't know what they call them. I can't remember where I picked these up, but they're her brand. Never heard of them, but needed something, so I just bought those. And then these I just got off tooling. I've been seeing these on the TikTok shop for a while. So I thought, those look pretty nice, and they do work pretty well. I've actually used, not this one, but that long reach is really nice. So nice to have those. So this is kind of my metric wrench drawer. And then this drawer, this is my standard wrench drawer. And now these are all my original Matcos. I lost my 5/8 somewhere. I have no idea. Over the years, somehow my 5/8 went missing, but I actually found one on eBay exactly like this for style. So it's on the way. So I've got my Matco wrenches, my original ones, and I've used the shit out of these things. I love them. They're great wrenches. Actually haven't broken one yet, and I pounded on them. I've done a lot of stuff to them. And then I got some, these are gear wrench, the flex head, ratchet wrenches, one end. Those are really nice to have. And then I've got, of course, the Craftsman that I had. I put those in there, and then I've got some Craftsman. Oh, these are Titans, I guess. I thought I do have some Craftsman in there somewhere, I thought. Yeah, these are Craftsman ratchet wrenches. So I've got those. That came in that tool set. So I've got now I've got a bunch of standard and metric. Makes it really nice. Some more stubbies, these little Huskies. I actually bought these little stubbies, not really for something I needed to work on my car, but I had my four-wheeler, and a friend of mine, we'd go out and trip every now and again to Colorado, ride in the mountains, and so I always wanted a set of tools, just if I needed to fix something on the four-wheeler. So that's actually why I bought those. That's what they fit in the little toolbox that Polaris four-wheelers had on them, really nice. So that's actually where those come from. But so yeah, those are my the standard SAE wrench drawer. And the one thing, I started off with those little V-shape wrench organizers. I don't know, I just didn't like them. So yeah, on TikTok shop, I got these. These are from QRT, and these are really nice. Work really well. But then I kind of figured out that these are nothing more than 3D printed pieces. And I'm like, I could just make my own. So that's what I did. So I ended up buying a 3D printer just so I can make these wrench organizers. Now these I bought too, but these I printed. And that works pretty well. So I thought, yeah, we'll do that. A little bit better organized. Works really well. Moving on to this drawer. This is my plier drawer and kind of the electric drawer. Got some different kinds of pliers, all whatever. And then just some electrical connections, test light, kind of some random junk that I kind of have in here. Just all kinds of different stuff. These organizers, I printed these as well, and I printed those. So if y'all have a 3D printer and want to make your own, there's tons of files out there. That's what I did. So a lot cheaper than buying stuff off TikTok shop. Just make your own, and then you can 3D print whatever else you want. Okay, this drawer is kind of a who's who and a what's what drawer. Got a pickle fork, some pry bars, timing light, battery tester, one of these plastic welders. I haven't used that yet, but kind of want to try it out and see how well they work, but I got one. Another timing light that I had. So that's kind of what's in this drawer. Nothing too exciting there. And this drawer is kind of a catch-all. I've got my air impacts. And I bought one of these little mini toolboxes. Thought it was kind of cool. Don't have nothing in there, but thought it'd be neat. So it's kind of sitting down there for now. Over in this drawer, of course, is the charge drawer. My one complaint, which everybody else complains about too, is this drawer's not really deep enough to put a charger in there with a battery. It's just not deep enough. So I got this, one charger in here for this little cordless soldering iron. And then I do have a battery for this. Girlfriend bought me a Javin electric ratchet, and that works pretty good. So not a whole lot goes on in here. Now this next drawer, I know I'm going to get a lot of people screaming and yelling at me because I don't use Milwaukee. I use Ryobi, and the reason why is this drill right here. I bought this drill, I bet 10, 15 years ago. I don't even remember. It's an old one because you can tell because of the color. So I've stuck with Ryobi because I bought this drill and it came with a charger and a battery. And so I ended up with a bunch of batteries, and I wasn't going to just spend hundreds of dollars on new batteries and new tools when I already had the batteries. So I stuck with Ryobi, and quite honestly, they've been just fine for me. This little impact driver, I use the shit out of this thing, and it's worked for me every time. I've had no issues with it. I've had this thing for a long time. So, I mean, you can love or hate Ryobi. I don't care. That's what I use because I've already got the batteries for it, and I'm probably not going to change. I've got a little 1/4-inch electric ratchet. This thing actually is pretty nice to have. It works really well. And then I've got that Raven, that battery I showed you, or Javin, I guess, sorry. You know, this is a 3/8 ratchet. I've used this quite a bit. This thing's actually a pretty nice thing. It works really well. So that's kind of the drawer for all that. Moving over here, this is my screwdriver drawer. I would say to anybody who's getting into tools, getting into mechanics, whatever, spend the money and get a good set of screwdrivers. I do not. I've got cheap screwdrivers and it shows. I just haven't went out and bought a decent set yet. This is the only surviving Matco screwdriver I got left. Actually, I do have one more. It's in my camper. I used it up there and it stays in my tool bag in my camper. These have been good screwdrivers, as you kind of tell. It's a little bent, kind of used for a little pry bar, but yeah. Buy yourself a good quality set of screwdrivers. You'll want those. These cheapo things, they'll strip bolts, they break, they ain't worth a shit. But someday maybe I'll get around to getting a better set, but right now they work. I got some Autocraft Torx, whatever you want to call them. These screwdrivers, those have been pretty good. I don't remember where I bought those. Probably Advanced Auto or maybe Home Depot. Who knows? Some other screwdrivers. Now these, I bet most people have never seen one of these kind of screwdrivers. I don't know if you can really see it in here. I'm trying to get a good angle on it so you'll know what it is. Most mechanics probably don't even have a clue what that is, new mechanics. So back in the 50s, 40s, 50s, whatever, certain cars had fasteners that had this hourglass shape to them. My dad's old 55 Chevy pickup had a bunch of these. That's what held the door panel on, and other places too. So they're shaped like an hourglass. It's definitely something that you don't see anymore. But yeah, so I gotta have a set of those just to work on that pickup. So that's the screwdriver drawer. And this, I just picked these up not too long ago. Nut drivers, we got metric and standard size. These are pretty nice. Now, some people kind of complain about it because the handle's too big, but I got big hands, so they actually fit really nice for me. So, pretty nice set of icons there. Again, I ain't gonna go chase the Matco man or the Snap-on guy down for a set of nut drivers when I'm not gonna do it, you know, use them every day. These work just fine. And this is my persuasion drawer, as some people call it. Just different sets of hammers. This hammer, this is kind of the cool thing. I actually made this in Metal's shop in high school. This thing has been around forever, so it's got a brass head, and we used the lathe and made this out of aluminum stock, and then knurled it and everything. So yeah, I actually made this little brass hammer in high school, and yeah, I've used it a few times. It's a really nice hammer, kind of cool, kind of fun. Okay, next drawer we got some more pliers. These are the long reach pliers, some hose pliers, and then I got these off TikTok shop, and I don't know if anybody else has used these things, but let me tell you, these are really nice to have. They work really well. Oh, I wish they had these, you know, years ago for hose clamps. Gosh, these things, that's probably one of the best pliers I own. These things really work well. Okay. In this drawer, I got some more torque wrenches. This is my original Matco torque wrench, and this is why I want to find a Matco guy, because head stripped out every time I try to tighten some, it kind of skips. So it needs the head rebuilt on it, if it even can be rebuilt, I don't know. But, and then I've got inch pound and a couple other things, speed wrench, and there's some other torque wrenches that I've used over the years. This bottom drawer is just kind of got some odds and ends. Scanner, those plastic body fasteners, a couple other things that I've gotten down there. Set of towels. And then moving over to this 15-inch box. This is kind of an odds and ends box. I got some drill bits in there. Allen wrench sets. Another set of Allen wrenches. Air tools and stuff like that. Just kind of a miscellaneous drawer of stuff. This box, I got a few kits in here. Now let's see, I'm trying to figure out there's one box I wanted to show you. I think it was this one. Because I bet a lot of people have never seen these style wrenches before. These are kind of the original speed wrenches. These are made by, turn it around here. These are Blue Points. So the way they're designed is as you're turning it, you kind of skip back over it and it grabs the bolt. So these are kind of the original speed wrench kind of things that Blue Point came up with. I don't know how old these things are. They're ancient, but kind of got a whole set of there, and pretty rare, but pretty neat. And just some other stuff, flare nut tools, just other odds and ends and that. And then we have, this is kind of where I keep body panel tools. If you don't have a set of these tools, they are great. You probably get some if you ever take door panels off and stuff. They work really well. I've also got this one too. And then just some other odds and ends in here. Chisels, wood chisels, excuse me, punches. Kind of keep in there. This drawer is just some more specialty tools. It's probably something else a lot of people probably never seen, is these kind of wrenches here. I don't know, anybody have a guess what this is? What kind of wrench this is for? Pretty rare nowadays. These are distributor wrenches. So on the old Chevys that still use distributor, this is the Chevy one. Your nut that locked the distributor down on the engine was kind of underneath the cap, so this would reach in under the cap, and you could turn it as you're adjusting your timing, and then you could lock it back down with that without having to, burn yourself or get electrocuted by the spark plugs or whatever. So it just made it easier to tighten that bolt on your distributor. So it's a distributor wrench. This is for a Chevy, and this one is a Ford. It even still has the original. I don't know if you can see that on there very well. This is Ford for 60. What does that say? 68, 65 V8. So it covered the 289, 302, 300, 400. Different Ford V8. So this is what fits the Ford distributors. Kind of cool. Something a lot of you youngins probably never have seen before, but I sure used the shit out of all of them back in the day. All right, then moving on. Just some other odds and ends. The vacuum gauge. Then we've got a couple hacksaws, pipe wrench. And then this is just kind of the extra drawer, got funnels, some more shop towels. Really not a whole lot going on in there. So, got that. Oops. Forgot to put away. Forgot what drawer was in there. That'll go in there. So then also I got, you got to have your accessories for these toolboxes. Paper towel, and got the magnetic one that holds the cans, a couple screwdrivers, and then the gloves. So that's about it. That's the 72-inch General 3 toolbox with the 15-inch side box. That's kind of my setup for it. I plan on, I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to get the hutch or if I'm going to get the top box. I've got most of the tools that I've accumulated are in here, but I've still got a whole bunch more that are in my other little shop. And then I got my dad's tools, which I put those in my old toolbox, and I'll probably do another video on that. We'll do a quick little tour on that little toolbox sometime down the road. But I'm thinking about either getting the top chest for this, and then I'm definitely getting the cabinet, the side cabinet, because I'd like to, all those chemicals that are up there, stow them away in the cabinet. So, but for now, this is the setup I have. It's been a great toolbox. I've had no issues with it for over a year. It's really a well-built box. I was kind of leery about it when I was kind of looking at it, but just watching the reviews, and a lot of people just really, they've enjoyed it. So I went ahead and got myself one. It's been a great toolbox for me. It's tons of storage in these things. So that's about it, folks. That's the U.S. General Series 3 72-inch and the 15-inch side box. And when I get the other stuff put on there someday, maybe I'll do another video about it and show you how I got that all put together. So, all right, folks, have a good one. Catch you next time.